Hello viewers, you are welcome to the Smart Student Academy. This is your channel. If you are a student aiming at scoring straight A's in your final examinations, this is the arena for champions who will settle for nothing less than pure academic excellence. Please come with us as we show you the strategies you need to achieve your academic ambitions. Today's discussion is going to be centered on techniques for enhancing memory and remembrance. This topic is a guide and a motivator, helping you to obtain straight A's in your final examination. Please hit the subscribe button and let's go straight to the point. What is memory and remembrance? Memory is the ability of the brain to take in information, store it, and retrieve it when needed. It helps you and me to retain what we learn, what we experience, or what we see. Remembrance, on the other hand, is the act of recalling stored information, like remembering what you studied, or someone's name, or someone's telephone number, or some past experiences. In academies, memory and remembrance help us to recall definitions, formulas, concepts, ideas during tests and exams. What are the different types of memories? There are three main types of memories. One, sensory memory. This kind of memory helps you hold information from the senses for a very short time, like few seconds. For example, seeing a flash of an image, your memory will keep it just briefly. Number two, short-term memory, STM. This helps you hold information temporarily for, let's say, between 15 to 30 seconds. It has a small capacity. For example, memorizing a phone number for a short while. And the third type of memory is called long-term memory, LTM. This helps you store information for a long time, possibly forever. An example will be remembering your first day at school or a mathematics formula you studied last year. Now, how does the brain store information? When we learn something new, the brain receives the information through the senses. It processes it by giving it meaning. That's what we call encoding. If the information is rehearsed or associated with something meaningful, it is stored in the long-term memory. Furthermore, connections called neural pathways are then formed between brain cells, which are known as neurons. How can the brain store information more effectively? The brain stores information better, one, when repetition is involved. The more you revise and repeat something, the deeper it sinks and is stored. Two, meaning is attached to the information. When you attach meaning to an information, you make personal connection with it, your brain will store it more effectively. Three, when emotion is connected. Strong emotions about something help to boost your memory. Four, when visualization is used, that is, closing your physical eyes and then opening your inner eye, your mind, turning the words into a mental image, vivid mental image, will help your brain store information, making your memory work better. When association is made with something, linking new information to what you already know makes the memory stronger. Now, how does the brain retrieve stored information? Retrieval happens when you bring stored information back into your awareness. For example, during an exam, your brain recalls answer using cues These are hints or triggers. Practice. The more you recall information, the easier it becomes. And through organization, well-organized notes are easier to remember. Let's look at psychology methods of remembrance and how to use them. Here are effective psychological techniques students can use to remember. 1. Chunking. Breaking down information into smaller, manageable groups is what we call chunking. For instance, you want to remember a number like this, a phone number. Can you see? It's difficult. But when you chunk it, you break it into group like this, it becomes easier. What is the academic use of chunking? Break your syllabus into smaller topics for easy learning. Let me give you one example. It may look bogus, but I think it will illustrate what I mean. If you have a bowl of food in front of you, and you want to attempt to swallow the whole bowl all at a go, is it possible? In fact, it is not possible. It can never be possible. You will choke yourself to death. But if it is right, by using your spoon to take it bit by bit, but if it is swallow, by cutting little pieces, put in soup and swallow bit by bit, no matter how big that food is, you are going to demolish it. Yes, something similar is what we mean by chunking. So you break down a large stuff of information into small bits and then deal with each small bit one after the other. In that way, you are going to conquer everything. The next psychological method that helps you to remember is called mnemonics. Using patterns, phrases, or rhymes to remember information is what we call mnemonics. For example, PEDMAS, which stand for maths operation. P for parentheses, E for exponents, M for multiplication, D for division, A for addition, and S for subtraction. What's the academic usefulness? Creating acronyms of rhymes helps you to remember key facts in any subject. Let me give you the following examples. The acronym CEL in economics, where C stands for capital, E for entrepreneur, the first L for land, and the last L for labor. So by cramming the word CEL, you will easily remember all the 4 factors of production. So it's a powerful acronym. Another example is Mr. Niger D, which stands for the characteristic of living things. The M for movement, followed by R for respiration, then nutrition, irritability, growth, excretion, reproduction, and death. We often learn this in basic science. The next psychological method of remembrance is what we call the method of loci, that is memory palace. Imagine placing items to remember in a familiar place like your house. Example, picture biological terms placed in different rooms of your house. Academic usefulness. Link information to specific locations you know well, and it will help you to remember them. The next psychological method of remembrance is what we call visualization. This means creating mental image to represent information. For example, if you picture a cell as a city to understand its parts, it will help you. Academic use. Draw, or visualize what you are trying to study. The next one is repetition. That is spaced rehearsal. This means reviewing information. Reviewing information repeatedly over time helps to increase your memory. So it is good practice to review what you have studied over increasing interval of time. You study something today, in 3 days you review it, in 7 days you review it again, in 2 weeks you do another review. This helps you to remember better. How do you use this? You revise your notes daily, then weekly, and so on. Association is another psychology method of remembrance. Always link new information to something already familiar. For example, relate the French word chien, which means dog, with your pet dog. Then you always remember that chien in French means dog. You can even use the name to name your pet dog. Then anytime you call chien, you know you are talking about a French word for dog. You will never forget such when exam comes. Academic use. Always connect history dates with events in your life. Another one, elaboration. Explaining new materials in your own words is what we mean by elaboration. The academic use. After studying something, explain the topic to a friend as if you are teaching him. It helps a lot. The next is what we call storytelling. This is a narrative technique, trying to turn facts into a story. For example, you can create a story to remember chemistry elements or historical events. Academically, this can be useful when you turn boring facts into fun narratives. Next is what we call retrieval practice. Try practicing bringing information out of memory. This is when you do what we call active recall. The academic use of this is when you do self-tests using flashcards, quizzes, or practice exam questions through the use of active recall, it will go a long way. Now comes to another technique called the Feynman technique. Try to explain a concept as if you were teaching a 5-year-old child. That is the Feynman technique. If you are able to break a complex issue or concept down to the knowledge of a 5-year-old child, I can assure you it really means you understood it. And when exam time comes, it won't be difficult for you to use your own words to express such concepts. Now we come to another milestone. How can students apply these techniques in academics? Number one, use mnemonics and chunking to study large volumes of information. Draw diagrams and visuals for subjects like biology or geography. Create stories or songs for boring facts. Teach your classmates what you have learned. This is elaboration. Draw diagrams and visuals for subjects like biology or geography. 1. Create stories or songs for boring facts. 2. Teach your classmates what you have learned before. This is a form of elaboration. 3. Build a study routine with spaced revision. 4. Practice recalling what you read without looking at your notes. 5. Handwriting notes. Instead of typing your notes or asking somebody to help you write, write the notes by yourself with your hands. This improves your memory compared to other methods, because as you are writing, you are also learning, and your brain is trying to commit everything into memory. in that process of writing. Handwriting notes engages motor skills and cognitive processes. Now, let's look at additional important tips you need to know as a student. Very important. Sleep well. Sleep helps restore your memories. 2. Eat brain-friendly food like fruit, nuts, and fish. Your brain is the major tool you use in education or studying. Train it and treat it very well. If it breaks down, you are in trouble. Furthermore, avoid cramming. When you are in junior school and you have less to do, you can afford to do cramming here and there. But at higher level, you have volumes. Take geography, for instance. It's a voluminous subject. How many things will you cram there? Take biology. How many things will you cram there? So it is better to use all these smart techniques to overcome your educational challenges. So you must avoid cramming because it overloads your short-term memory. Next, stay focused. Remove all distraction during study. Picking your phone calls, watching comedy, or listening to one thing or the other on TV while you are studying. Have attention on your book, have attention on program going on television. It will not help you at all. You must stay focused. Leave the environment where there is television. Keep your phone away for that period. And then concentrate fully. That is very crucial. Last but not the least here, stay positive. Believe in your memory power. Don't doubt yourself. Be positive that with all these efforts, you'll be able to remember all the facts when exam time comes and pass. Hit the subscribe and like buttons and share the link with other students and your friends. Please be your brother's keeper. Be free to explore this channel for other talk like this. We have plenty and very many of them. New ones are always coming up. In conclusion, please listen carefully now. Memory and remembrance are skills that can be developed and strengthened with the right techniques. By using psychological methods like mnemonics, visualization, repetition, and storytelling, students can remember better and perform excellently in their exams. Start applying these techniques today, and you shall see a big improvement in how much you retain and how confidently you write your exams. And remember, learning is not about how long you study, but how smart you study. Please remember to subscribe. Bye for now.